this is actually an interesting spot. Because we have the Fagori, I think I might actually take a chance on the Humpty and the block, with the idea being that Humpty gives us the chance to get the Fagori, and then next turn we can sell it and grab the other two characters that we like here, and we'll have the benefit of the Fagori buff, because yeah, with any other character we would have only tied and missed out on the Fagori. Ooh, actually, with getting that shrink spell, we can actually keep everything on board. And I think it makes some amount of sense to try to put the Humpty up front to maximize the chance of getting some slays. And you know, we probably won't end up keeping Humpty for long, but you know, we'll keep it for one more turn. If it does get broken or cracked, I guess is maybe the term. I think that's, okay. It's a risk we're willing to take. We already have 4 other characters on board on turn 2, which is, definitely ahead of curve. And, sometimes you just gotta take a little bit of a risk. Ooh, so we got a little lucky with, the smaller one attacking first and hitting the Humpty. Now we got a shrink spell here. We get a mim. Well, I think we'll take the Humpty off the board. And maybe here actually we sell the Humpty. Maybe it's time for that. Time came kind of quickly, I guess. And we'll just grab a chicken, hold on to that. We got the Eeny Meeny on the Rainbow Unicorn, which is nice. Giving it 2 attack is actually a lot better than 1. And maybe that means we put it here as a 5/6. Eventually the Cinderella will proc. It takes, you can't really speed it up with Loki, but it triggers, consistently, and you can just leave it on the bench. And, worst case scenario, you skip that treasure and it gives you 2 gold, so it ends up being sort of like a chicken. But you can also sell it, so, a lot of considerations, I think. We got the nice 1 and 2 there. We'd love to hit this cat. No such luck. And we should win this, yeah, because we have a couple extra things lying around. Wow, what a great gingerbread party. We don't have a lot of high health things, although we could start to grab a couple and start getting some buffs with the creeper here. I don't know how good that ends up being. I think the princes are not what we're looking for. I think we will take the unicorn though. It just seems good enough, on face. Creeper's good with sort of, we can't ever buy a spell. I think we'll roll. There's some other stuff I think is worth finding. We're not really seeing it yet, but we'll grab another chicken. And we'll sell chicken and a goat for an adventurer, which we will put first. And because we have so many buffs, actually, that becomes a 5/4, which is pretty significant. Oh wow, these all have 8, so that's tough. So we're gonna lose this fight. They have some just big attackers here. Yeah, wow, it takes 7. They just had some pretty sizable board actually. Okay, and I think this makes it pretty easy to just grab everything, although I guess it's not as easy as I thought because we don't have enough room. And what are we selling here? Is it the Cinderella or is it these 2 cats that we're never going to get back in? I think I answered my own question there. Brave Princess, I don't think we have the room to get that to slay ever, which is unfortunate. Do we want another Romeo? The answer is we probably do, but we don't have room for it. I'm actually thinking, what if we were to sell a Mim and a Cinderella? What? Maybe we're supposed to sell 2 blind mice. We grab a witch here. I do like 2 blind mice though. We'll keep them. And I think we're gonna pause here. This is good for next turn. It gives us consolidate some space. It's also a powerful character in the early game. And if we attack this thing, wow. So we got pretty lucky with our attack so far. I think we lose this fight because of the strong... Oh no, it's pot. Oh yeah, that. Oh well, we got another XP. Yeah, so we're gonna lose this fight, but I think we sort of won the battle. We jumped right to 5. I think we got a full level's worth of XP there. You know, I think it might actually be worth it just to skip, because we're on level 5, and we have some really strong potential characters to buy. Friendly Spirit is one of the strong characters, but it's not a 5-drop. I think we're committed to those. We find one here. Now note it's possible we hit 6 next turn if we get these 2 slays. So I think it might be worth it just to go, you know, not buy in, not pause here, because these are usually cool, and try to get to 6 on the 8 gold turn. This person's still at 3, we hit 5. So the, you know, if you haven't bought any XP, you're still at 3. We're all the way at 5, and we could potentially jump straight to 6. Which I think could really, you know, oh, well, I don't know why we have the princess instead of like a Romeo, just because it's beefier. That was a mistake even last turn. Where I think we ended up taking damage. We should have made that swap, obviously. You know, oversight. I apologize for for that one. Oh no. Okay, so we won't get quite to 6, but we will wipe their entire board here, do a bunch of damage. We're gonna have one more turn on 5, and none of these are great. Buffing level 3 characters when we're hitting 6 is not what we're looking for. Baby Bear plus Fairy Godmother is a reasonable combo, but I don't think it's what we need here. We're going to be done with these adventurers. Huh. Mother Godmother, we could, you know, sell some stuff and grab these plus the Godmother. Yeah, I mean that's obviously we deviated sort of back and forth. We can go sell, buy. I think we want this all the way up front. And then we could actually sell all 3 of these to get this buff. I don't know how good that is in the long term. I think we don't need it at the moment, so we're not going to bother. I guess it's probably better if the Romeo dies, giving the buff to the friendly spirits, which, you know, get it from the fairy godmother, which then can pass those along. So they're at 4 still. We're going to hit 6 next turn, and that's the turn we really want to take advantage of. We might have even not wanted to spend so much gold this time because it required selling off some units. It might have been better just to wait till we hit 6 to really take advantage of that spike, you know, when some people are still going to be at 4. The majority of the people, looks like. You really want to take advantage of being on 6 way ahead of people to grab those 6 drops. Okay, well they're getting some value trades here. I think ultimately we're fine just because we got so many buffs back here. And keeping this alive means we deal 3 extra damage, which is perfect. We have no treasures yet. Okay, we took a little damage, but let's find some 6 drops for ourselves. And obviously Good Boy is very much in line with what we're looking for. Oh, if only we had taken the animal as a good character, we would be in even better shape. And I think it's time to go 1, 2, 3, and 4 to grab this character and grab a Good Boy. And this is going to be our lineup for the moment. I'd say we're probably very strong. We do want to, you know, triple, some of us 4 drops, and we're going to want to try to find, most of these people are still at 4, which means, we have at least 3 turns, unless they buy some XP, to take advantage of the 6 drops. We're going to find some, baby bears, some bearsteins, and really try to go wild. And then triple these to get some 4-drop treasures. We really don't have any treasures. If we find more good boys, obviously that's amazing. And, put ourselves in a good position. We could, try to grab the Nutcracker. It probably would proc soon. We could grab a Lancelot, a Hercules. There's a lot of good characters we could get. Oh wow, losing that obviously is bad, but this will take out almost their entire board. Yeah. And actually knock them out of the game. That was devastating. Mummy is really good. If you reach higher levels early, Mummy just takes... Oh wow, we lost out on the Hercules, but we'll pick up a good boy. I think we want to pick up a Lancelot as well. It will trigger very quickly. So we'll throw the Lancelot in back. And the second good boy. This means if all 4 of these things die, and especially since they're good boys, the Lancelot will trigger because it gets +6 every time. So assuming, our back row stays safe, the Lancelot will trigger, we'll get a 5-drop treasure, and it will be upgraded. And then maybe we can stop putting it up front. And we can even leave it in back and let it slay. But you don't always have to rush this up front, especially when you have good boys here. But yeah, we did miss out on the Hercules, which would have been nice. A 6-drop treasure, which would have been, fairly quick to get if we have the... I guess maybe we'll put the beefier good boy. I don't know why this one is beefier, honestly. What if did we get a Blessing of Athene last fight? No, we wouldn't have got that because all these, everything would be bigger, right? Huh. Yeah, I don't actually know. They started 3/3s. We got a gingerbread house. Then we got a second buff that we cast on this somehow? No, I don't think could die. But not to worry. Pants, always has some, weird power spikes. But yeah, everyone's Merlin's at 5. Everyone else is still at 4. We have a huge level lead, and we'll just see if that can carry us, at least into the later parts of this game. Well, they already have an ivory owl. That's pretty amazing. As you can see, this triggered already. As a 2240. We could still lose this battle because of these range characters. Never count yourself as, decisively winning when someone has range characters, but looks like we'll take this down because our characters are a little too big. We'll deal 10, so we'll see what with 5 buff we get. Lowest attack gets 15. Yeah, I don't think Exploding Mittens is fine, but I think maybe just... Or do we want to try to give extra attack because we have characters that give a lot of health, so we want to balance it out? I think Gosling is a little easier to manage. Even if I do like Mittens, if we end up going spawners, yeah, I'll go Gosling. I think that's just the easiest to manage. We can grab a chicken. And Baby Bear, I think, is something we're interested in. And it looks like not much else, so I think we'll throw the Baby Bear in. It does get an extra... it might even be worse than the Friendly Spirit here. It does trigger, Godmother's extra times, but the Friendly Spirits pass on the buffs from the good boys so well. I think we might want to keep them. And hopefully the Lancelot will get its chance to hit. And, this hits the lowest attack, of which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all with 4 in stats. Looks like everyone just hit 5. And the Merlin who was at 5 actually got knocked out. So yeah, everyone just hit 5 other than us. And, we'll see how this one starts to go. So the big issue for us is going to be this backline character that slays. Because if it slays, they're going to get 2 copies of one of our characters, which are pretty beefy. They hit the wrong one for them. Oh, they got 2 attacks though. So yeah, as you can see, we're actually, you know, it's not that decisive of a round, but you know, our characters ultimately end up being very, very large. It's been 69 attack, passing, you know, like the good boys, passing on spirits. Okay, we're definitely going to take an Echowood here. And now we sort of desperately need to triple some things in order to consolidate. Yeah, here we go. Princes and princesses get a buff is nice, but I don't think that does what we want it to do. That just gives us +4/+4. I think we'll pass on that. And I think we want to try and get this buff here. We'll probably end up taking out a Fairy Godmother for an Echowood, because it just gets so much in buffs here. I guess we'll make the Lancelot attack a little earlier. Ultimately, obviously, we want to triple the Good Boy and the Fairy Godmother. Get, you know, we have, you know, if you have power sitting on the bench, obviously the goal is often going to be to, you know, make sure that power ends up on the board. And I'm sort of interested here if we can put something that's not a, you know, that has a lower attack than this. So this Echowood isn't the lowest attack. It will get +15 off the bat. I wonder if it's better to put the Baby Bear in, hoping it gets the buff so we end up getting +30/+30. And yeah, that's what happens. Oh, and they have, here's what all the characters we were looking for are. Taking out the Cupid is a very big part of this. I think we're clearly far more powerful than they are. We don't have that many upgraded characters, so it's not like we're going to be able to take them down. But yeah, we decisively winning. And Gingerbread House is another great buff. It's really good if we can find the Good Boys. I think it's good enough here. Just grab this thing. Here's a Bastien. How does that play into all of this? You know, I really honestly don't know the answer. Maybe we want to do something like this. Do we sell these three on the... I mean, obviously Bastien wants to be paired with the Baby Bear. I think we're fine just rolling here. And we see a Good Boy, so we'll grab a little goat just to get the gold. Next turn we'll be able to put the Good Boy on board, which means we'll get maybe a... It's interesting, we want a front row character maybe, so maybe we'll just get the Baby Bear up front. And it will get, hopefully it'll get the +15/+15 buff. And, you know, have a lot of stats as well. And I think there's going to be a strong, but you know, the Good Boys don't have a lot of attack, which means that's sort of our weakness, is that our back row doesn't end up with a ton of attack. Everyone has reached 6, it looks like, except the Snow Angel. So we're going, you know, we don't have that level advantage anymore. People have kind of caught us, you know, caught up to us. And it's going to be time for us just to try to win straight up, you know? We no longer can just sort of rely on being super far ahead. It looks like we will win this round, but not doing enough damage to knock anyone out, so we need to watch out for them. They could still scale. Oh no, we missed out on the Good Boy. We'll triple this, obviously. Grab the 6 drop. Singing Sword. Oh. I was going to grab Singing Sword, but I think actually Round Table gives us higher attack on the Good Boys and on the backliners. So in this particular instance, it seems better, but it's worse with everything else. Singing Sword ends up being better. Yeah. I think Singing Sword's actually better. I almost just sort of instinctively went for Round Table. One of the things about Singing Sword, Round Table is it does buff our Echowood right away, but it mostly gives us attack. I think we get Singing Swords, but you know, if you told me that was the wrong play, I'd definitely believe you. And I think here I want a Bastien. Bastien is very good with the Echowood and the baby bear. And the Good Boys obviously buffs those as well. And I think this is just going to be a build at the moment. You know, obviously we want to pair the Good Boys, get the Friendly Spirit back in. It's not even clear to me that the Lancelot is better than the Friendly Spirit overall, because if you remember Friendly Spirit is going to give stats to the Echowood as well. But I think the Lancelot might be worth keeping. It is pretty beefy and can usually trade with stuff. Everyone's just hit 6 recently, so a 50 attack, 56 attack, or 58 is going to be, I think, stronger than most other, and strong enough to trade at least, and that's most of what we're looking for. So again, I think, a big liability is going to be this character being able to attack and slay and get 2 copies. And we're very lucky there to take that out. Oh, they got a Horde Dragon, which is certainly interesting. So we're going to beat them pretty decisively, deal 11. But there's someone to watch out for. Horde Dragon is very strong. Cupid is very strong here. Not really what we're looking for though. Because we're looking for Good Boys and I guess baby bears. We'll offer Fairy Godmother. Okay, I think it's still better to keep the Lancelot in. But the baby bear is going to be fairly strong, and if we can triple it, it's actually nice when you triple it because most of the time tripling a baby bear isn't that great, but we have a ton of stuff we want to keep on board, and we'll get a 5-drop treasure. We don't have full treasures yet, and because it's getting doubled when you have when you make it go to a 4/4 and then an 8/8, once those spawns grow, it gets doubled. The Echowood grows even more, so that's an added bonus. We're down to top 3. We've played both of these people pretty recently and won, I wouldn't say super decisively, but by enough of a margin that, I think we are comfortably stronger. Obviously people could pass us, but, we're trying to gauge our current strength. And it seems like we're doing pretty well. Unfortunately we haven't got great spells recently. It would be nice to get some of those online. This Cupid could be annoying here, but I think we're fine overall. And we got a Slay, which is great. Might as well grow when we're fighting a ghost. If we can pull that off. Wow, we just cannot get this thing to die. Finally. And finally the Good Boy dies right after we don't need it anymore. Okay, that basically just is a free gold. Well, do they tie? Or okay, grab a second Echowood. Unfortunately it doesn't do a ton this turn, but it is good if we could find the last one. I think we'll get a chicken. Because we're unlikely to spend all gold this turn. Yeah, we do need to triple this Good Boy eventually. I don't think it's worth putting another Echowood in because, you always want to strike that balance of having the Echowoods and then having the things that trigger, or that, end up triggering the Echowoods. I think this is the strongest board we can get at the moment. It actually sort of helps us if things get strong enough that the Good Boys die very early. That means that they pass on their stats early. And the first one passes on to the second one, which means everything grows quite big. So if we reach the point when the opponents start, killing them right away rather than them dying, we had one Good Boy be the last thing to die last fight, which is obviously, not what you're aiming for. And hopefully they haven't. I think we played them probably 3 rounds ago, so they could have gotten stronger. We haven't really changed our board much. That's always something to think about. Yeah, I mean, this isn't... Fortunately, this got the attack and then was able to attack itself, which will end up being a huge benefit here. Yeah, we'll take this down. They don't have a lot of um, health here. They had mostly attack, so we were able to take that down pretty easily. And it looks like they beat Horde Dragon the round before, so you can't. They don't exactly translate, but it seems reasonable to believe that we might be the stronger character there. Doubling our support bonuses isn't unreasonable. Whenever something attacks, though, getting it +5/+5. We can't buy spells, obviously. So giving the good boys an extra 20/20 is good, but I think we need more attack in a lot of these fights. So I think we're going to try that. Obviously, you could, I think reasonable people can disagree about that particular play. And, it's questionable if we even need, the Berenstein, whole mess, and if it's just better to grab like a Cupid here. I think we're fine for this round. These will actually summon as, well, they summon as 6/6s that, end up being 12/6s, along those lines. Unfortunately, the Echowood, even with the buff, is still the lowest attack character that we have. So when the 15/15 happens, I wonder if it's actually better to do this, making the good boy the lowest attack, or sorry, making the baby bear the lowest attack character. Just like this. No, that doesn't work. This is probably a little too cute. The idea would be that it instantly gets +30/+30 when something else gets buffed. So if the baby bear were to get buffed, this would get +30/+30, so we get +45/+45 out of the Gosling instead of just +15/+15. But we're not trying to maximize the random treasure, we're trying to maximize our overall strength, and keeping the Echowood alive, I think, goes a long way towards that. So the only thing I'm worried about again is the sleigh going off, but even then, I don't think that's an issue here. We just seem to have a very strong board. Although they did make it a good character, interestingly, which does make it very strong. Oh, and getting 2 good boys. Actually, we could be in trouble here, right? Because they do have the range characters as well. Yeah, wow, this is gonna be close, right? I guess this has 800 attack. Oh, no, 800 health. Actually, now it has 1,000 health. Yeah, you know what? This might not be as close as I was thinking. Although, we're only going to end with one thing alive. It's going to be a big thing. But we take it down, so yeah, I mean, good boys win games, right? Getting to 6 super early wins games. Getting 6 super early and then getting good boys and Echowoods also win games. We got treasures really late. Singing Swords, I think, is one of the strongest treasures in the game. Doubling your attack means that any spawns end up being really, really strong, allowing them to trade with stuff that they normally wouldn't have, any business dealing with. Especially good with Berenstein. It's obviously good here with the good boys. I think, what was the other one? Round Table. So we could have gone Round Table, which made all of these things, higher attack. And it actually would have made this higher. Sorry, all the 2 good boys and the Green Knight higher attack. Or sorry, have higher attack. It actually wouldn't change the Lancelot because it's getting the extra attack from the Singing Sword. So we'd have one replacing the other. So my theory here was that getting an extra 20 attack, an extra. So this would be up to 26 and 27 instead of being at 14. So getting an extra 15 and 14 attack on this was less relevant than everything being doubled when it's up front, especially the baby bears. I'm not sure that was the case. So if you went Round Table, which would have buffed the Echowood instantly as well, I don't think you would have been wrong in doing that. My theory is that we would find more baby bears, and baby bears are much better with Singing Swords than with Round Table, just because the spawns benefit from the Singing Swords buff, but not the Round Table, and it really increases your Echowoods buff in terms of attack at that point. But increasing the good boy buff obviously spreads around a lot more buff as well. So that would have been something. It was something we considered, and I just wasn't sure we landed on it. Um, it actually would have been interesting too, because if we took the round table, the baby bear would have been just a 4-4, meaning it would have got the 30, the 15-15, meaning the Echo would have got the 30-30. So another thing to consider. So on balance, it might have been the wrong choice to get Singing Swords, but I think since it's so powerful, it ended up not being a huge detriment. And obviously, it looked like we took down this game pretty easily by the end of it, mostly because we got to 6 so early and had access to so many great 6 drops. You know, we tripled 2 6 drops and then had 3 more total. And in doing so, you just end up in a really strong spot. I mean, we completely revamped our comp, you know, when we saw the Godmothers and then just, you know, kept going. You know, good stuff, you know, all the way to the Good Boys and the, you know, Bastines and the Lancelots and things like that. So, a great game. Loki's a lot of fun. You can get some high rolls early and really, you know, crush games.